finally got the gearbox open on the white 764, and gear, it's actually fairly well lubed. It's, not entirely packed, but it's packed pretty good. The lube doesn't seem crusty, it doesn't even seem too viscous or starting to congeal more, like solidify. What was that before? What is that? Oh, it must be paper towel or something. Now, the bonus, today, I got actually both. The stitch selector is not as loose as the feed dog drop. I just saw the manual. What was it? Drop lover? Feed dog drop? Dog drop, maybe? I don't know. Anyways, that's smooth. Now, this is interesting, though. It falls down. So, without having that top casting, that knob present, that'll fall down. So I have to think about that. Maybe I'll put like a binder clip on top so it doesn't fall through, but that's moving really smoothly. The stitch length isn't the smoothest, but boy, it's a lot looser than it was. I mean, reverse is already, but this morning it was kind of stiff still. Now I can move them with my hand. Prior, I had to take one of the, like a can opener grip thing, wrap around so I could get a grip to open and close. This morning, the feed dog drop was sort of moving, but I gave it a little, actually, I shouldn't have, but the channel locks I gripped, and, it's already destroyed. So, the knob at least. So, yeah. I went back and forth only 2 or 3 times with 99% IPA, and it loosened pretty good. I just kept doing it with the screwdriver, and then it's no problem. Now I can use my hand, so that's neato. So I'm going to go ahead and get the cover back on, and I thought there wasn't a bobbin. When I first got it, I probably I knew there was, but I looked in this bag. Kind of hidden. There's a couple bobbins on the other side there. But yeah, this came with a bunch of bobbins and threads, so that's kind of cool. That's really neat. So I pulled out a bobbin. I'll do red on top, and I'll do blue on the bottom. And get this put back together, get a clip on there, and I think time to thread. And I'll go and just pause this and make it one video. Yes, impressive. There's probably a little fine tuning I can do. I think the tension I had too tight at first. I mean, it's probably not the best material to use, but I like to use for cleaning the oil out because I liberally oil. And so I ran some paper towel test stitches. But it looks like it's pulling up a little bit uneven on the right side. At least with that stitch, so this is a 5, and then I last left off at 1 reversing, but was kind of going, I think, a little below 1 right in there, just to see how it did, is it a bar tack they call it? So, yeah, you can see a little uneven. So it'd be not enough tension on the right side. Yes, looks consistent on the top. So we have a little more tension on the right side. Guess it doesn't look like it's pulling through on the left, but the main observation is the uneven tension. I'm going to go ahead and I've got a couple pieces of fabric I've cut to do the actual fabric test stitches, but wow, it looks good already. So I'm going to pause. Grip does really good. So grip needs some tension work. For the different stitches, I just pretty much left the tension at... With the first stitches, I did do a little adjustment because I think I was over... what was I under? Oh, boy. Too much blew up, I think. So I was over tension, yeah, and I had to go down. So down to... what's the line at there? So I went down to like 4.5-ish. And I pretty much, from this point over, I think it just left... at 4.5. So, you can see there's definitely, well, let's get that thread out of the way there. Can't help anything. Bad views. Alright, here we go. So, yeah, for whatever the different stitch is with this fabric, or whatever the fabric is, from my understanding, I'm not a sewist, but there's those ideal tension settings. So, and, you know, I kind of I just thought about it. Those were reverse stitches. Those would be on the bottom, so I ended with reverse stitches. I didn't start with a forward reverse stitch, so I think that's a good practice to do. Yeah, otherwise, and I might not have gone enough with some of these other, I forget what they're called. I can't remember. 3-point zigzag is about what I figured I might use, in the zigzag blind stitch, that other straight zigzag. You think I'd remember, and my brain just is not associated enough memories with yet, and I tend to block whatever I don't need to learn. So, until I need to, but I guess want to. Yeah, so I think there's a little more tension that I might went too low with some of these stitches at the certain stitch widths, but like at those stitch widths, looks beautiful, zigzag. And then, like I said, these other than the straight stitch, that wide a zigzag at, so this would be straight stitch, 0 width, going from 1 to 6. 6 threads per inch was what I measured. And this is at the 6 stitch length setting, and changing from the, I don't think I started on 0 with this one. It doesn't look like 0. Changing the stitch width to from 1 to 5. And then this, I said, well, in between is going to be obvious. So we already see the stitch lengths working okay. So stitch length went down to 1, and then I just started with stitch width from 0, which is, you can see, a straight stitch. Not the straightest, but pretty close. And then increasing the zigzag width. Yeah, that first setting's kind of looks super consistent. Looks, I guess, okay. Maybe it's just how it's set on the. It might have been a little bend or something in that transition. I forget. I need to do needle up and caught hook, I guess, when I do the transition to switch the width. I know there's something like that. I forget what that is offhand. I haven't done it enough. And it'll miss. I had that happen with one of these. One of these missed, I think. At least I thought it did. Maybe I was thinking wrong, because this length, the blind stitch, I forget what that's called, that zigzagging and straight, maybe it didn't miss. Maybe I was just thinking did. Anyways, I'll get back to the zigzag. The zigzag looks great, though, you know, and then this is the reverse, and then these, I don't know, I'm not going to use that too much. 6, so that's setting, and 1 to 6 width. This one's with the length 1, this one's with the length 6, which is pretty much useless. And then, so I figured I'd just leave it at 1 for when I did the 3-point zigzag, and looks really good. I'm impressed. I like this machine. So this is my first white zigzag machine with a couple options, no cams required, and I think I'm going to leave her at that. Oh, what I did with this, because this was falling through once I loosened it up, so now I've got a binder clip switch. So that's amazingly now so loose, that binder clip seems to be holding. So that's cool. That's a good thing. And let's just go back down and leave it at 0 width. And I think I'm going to call it good. I could test out the buttonhole, but I would have to read more, and I don't know what that is. And I don't know the count. Maybe I'm on 15 or 45 machines to go through. So I'm just going to move forward with getting these unstuck. Functional stitching for the most part, where, you know, the only thing really required is going to be the adjusting of the tension, I think. And maybe some minor eccentric screw or position adjustments. Otherwise, I don't even know if those are required. It seems to be mostly the tension settings. So, okay, I'm going to call it good. It's the 10 minutes, 10, 13, over 10 minutes. Be safe, stay healthy, and until then, Christ be with you.